Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy CJ Beasley here, back again. Today we have yet another battle video from the RWL. This week we are taking on Eon, the coach of the Runaway Rangers. He is such a great battler. I battled him in a Showdown League one time. Such a good battler. Definitely go check him out if he has a link. I will definitely put it down below. I'm not sure if he has a YouTube channel or not, but I'll find that out for you guys. And if he does, I will definitely link it down below. He's such a great battler, so if he does, I definitely highly recommend checking him out. So spoilers from last week. We're gonna say them right now. 3, 2, 1. We won last week. I can't exactly remember what the differential was at this point, since it was quite a while ago that I did that battle, at least. But we won last week, so we are sitting pretty at 7-2 with a great differential. I believe plus 22 with 7-2, so that's such a great differential. We are looking really pretty to make playoff spots, but we're trying to clinch that #1 seed, so hopefully we can pull out another W here. But anyways, guys, we're just going to hop right into things. So we have, first up, we have the Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, Dhelmise, Haxorus, Gligar, Gothorita, Protean Greninja, not the Torrent like I have, the Mamoswine, Incineroar, Alomomola, and the Mega Aggron. So, honestly, such a scary team in terms of prep. Koko is such a threat against my team. Just a combination of Hidden Power Ice and Thunderbolt just really scares almost the entirety of my team, especially if it's Calm Mindset. That's really scary for my team, so I definitely have to watch out for that. Hawlucha is obviously always a threat with Electric Seed on burn kind of stuff. Dhelmise is a really big problem for my team. I don't really have the best consistent switch into that thing, so I will definitely have to be careful. Haxorus is obviously a great Dragon Dancer, setup sweeper kind of stuff like that. Gligar is good. I don't expect it to come this week, to be honest with you. It could kind of check the Gligar, I guess, but if I have Ice Fang, or Gliscor, excuse me, but if I have Ice Fang, you know, it's not doing much. Gothorita is I have knockoff on a lot of things as options, so I don't expect that to come. Greninja is such a scary threat. That thing can run through teams. I've seen it do it before, so I'll definitely have to be careful about that. Mamoswine's obviously a great Stealth Rock user, great Scarfer, stuff like that, so I'll have to be careful around that as well. Especially with the priority Ice Shard, it's kind of scary for my team. Plus Ice plus ground coverage is really scary for my team in general, so I'll have to be careful about that. Incineroar is a great mon. Alomomola is a pain, to say the least, to worry about. As I don't really have the best answers to it in general, outside of the only things I have that hit stab super effectively are Jolteon and Cradily, so I'll definitely have to be careful about that. And Mega Aggron's always one of the worst Pokemon. Always one of the worst Pokemon to battle against. I don't care what team you have, it's always a pain to prep for, so definitely have to be careful about that as well. So yeah, such a great team. Good removers, good setters, hazard-wise, so definitely a well-rounded team. So anyways, we're just going to hop right into my team. So first up, we got Mega Glade, Deathstroke with the Gladite, Steadfast. Ooh. Well, that should have been justified. Just realizing that now. But I'll give you a spoiler now. It doesn't come into effect anyway, so it is fine. Anyways, so we got Steadfast, apparently, with the Close Combat, Ice Punch, Knockoff, and Swords Dance. With 92 HP, max attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 196 speed with a Dog Nature. So this thing, honestly, if I can get a Swords Dance up once Koko's gone, it kind of runs through his team. That's basically what we're looking at here. So that's definitely that's kind of my game plan going into this. Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Knockoff basically hit everything on his team aside from, like I said, the Tapu Koko. So I'll definitely have to be careful around that. Other things to note, Swords Dance is pretty free to set up. Oh, my computer's going to die. We'll make this quick. So Swords Dance is pretty free to set up against like a Gligar, let's say, in Misty Terrain. So if I can get that situation to arise, that's pretty free setup. Other situations would be like in front of the Mamoswine, I could potentially set up as Earthquake isn't doing too much. I can live in Earthquake plus an Ice Shard anyway, so that's fine. So yeah, so if I can get set up once Koko's gone, that's pretty much a Glade sweep, so that's kind of what we're going to be fishing for here going into this. Next up, we got Namor, our Tapu Fini with the Leftovers Misty Surge, Surf, Moonblast, Nature's Madness, and Defog with 244 HP, 204 defense with a Bold Nature, and 60 special attack. So with 60 special attack allows me to do is always KO a Hawlucha unless if it's crazy bulky, which I don't expect it to be. So this will always one-shot a Hawlucha unless if he has like a good amount of bulk investment. Then it becomes a roll, but most of the time this should KO a Hawlucha. Surf is nice for stuff like Mamoswine. He doesn't honestly have the best switch-ins to Surf plus Moonblast on his team, so this is kind of a scary thing for his team to deal with. This is my primary switch-in to the Mamoswine, as well as it can switch into the Hawlucha. It can take a +2 Acrobatics and fire off a Moonblast and dent that thing. It can also take Earthquakes even from a Life Orb Mamoswine, so that's pretty nice, and deal off some Surfs. Nature's Madness obviously cuts everything's HP in half, no matter what it is, and Defog's obviously just there for getting rid of hazards, as hazards are kind of annoying for my Jolteon that kind of pivots around, and my Chandelure especially. So that's kind of what I went for there. Here we got Angel, our Jirachi, with the Figgy Berry, Serene Grace, Iron Head, Heart Stamp, Protect, and Thunder Wave with 244 HP, 12 attack, 12 attack, 100 defense, and 4 special defense with 148 speed and a Jolly Nature. So this outspeeds, okay, so this, once I can get, okay, so this is, I'll explain. Excuse me, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So this is my primary check to Hawlucha, okay? So what this does is it will take a +2 high jump kick always. Unless if he gets a crit, even if he's max attack adamant. It will always take a high jump kick from full. Which at that point, I can throw off a Thunder Wave. And what this speed allows me to do is outspeed, once he's paralyzed, it outspeeds a Hawlucha that was speed creeping a Scarf Jolteon. So max speed Jolteon is 200, so a Scarf Jolteon hits 300. A Hawlucha will hit 302 since Unburden will be 302, and then so half of 302 will be 151. And as you can see right here, my Jirachi hits 152. So that's kind of what we went with. Heart Stamp. I went with Heart Stamp and Iron Head. I kind of wish I could have gone Protect, Wish. But I need a Heart Stamp because at +1 defense, a Iron Head does not break a substitute from a Hawlucha, so that's kind of a problem. Protect's obviously just there, basically because I have Toxic on. I'll spoil it now, but I have Toxic on a couple of things. I believe actually just the Pyro, the Chandelure, but Protect's basically there to, if he clicks High Jump Kick, I can get a free 50% off on him. And it's also there, like if something gets toxic, I can just kind of sit in front of it and click Protect, and then Iron Head, try to flinch it, then Protect, then Iron Head, try to flinch it, stuff like that. Just kind of wear down things on its team. So that's kind of the game plan going into this Jirachi. That's kind of my thought process going into it. So next up, we have Dark Knight, the Gliscor Choice Scarfed, actually, with the Poison Heal, Earthquake, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Stealth Rocks. With 84 HP, max attack with an Adamant Nature, 4 defense, and 20 special defense with 148 speed. So what this allows me to do is obviously outspeed a Tapu Koko from max speed, which is not the most unexpected thing in the world. So I'm definitely gonna, because Tapu Koko speed ties with my Jolteon as they are both base 130. So that's kind of just what I want to hit in case you want to go max speed. So this will always KO a Tapu Koko with a Earthquake, and if he is Timid Koko, I can always live a Hidden Power Ice from a non-boosting item Tapu Koko, which is pretty nice. U-Turn is obviously there for nice pivot. Knockoff is there to get rid of items, and Stealth Rocks are there just for the hazards. I didn't really have any other place to put them. I could have maybe put them on Jirachi instead of Protect, but I kind of want to Protect a little bit more. So I just decided to throw it on here, especially since I didn't really need that last slot for anything else. So that is pretty nice. So basically this is going to be my dedicated lead, as I do expect the Koko to lead, as it does have a really good lead matchup against my team. So I expect the Koko to lead, and hopefully the game plan is just basically being able to KO that Tapu Koko turn 1 with a Choice Scarf Earthquake that will be unexpected. So that's kind of the game plan going into that. So next up we got Pyro, the Chandelure with the Life Orb, Flash Fire, Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, Energy Ball, Toxic with 4 defense, max special attack, and max speed with a Timid Nature. So this is max speed because I wanted to speed tie with a max speed Mamoswine. In case that situation arose, I had a 50-50 chance of winning that exchange. Hopefully that's not a situation we have to get into, but like I said, I don't really have the best Earthquake plus Ice coverage switch-ins once the Tapu Fini's down, so I kind of want to be wary of that. Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, Energy Ball hits everything not named Incineroar, and that's what we have the Toxic for, as in if we're not in misty terrain, I can throw off a Toxic and start to wear that thing down. As I do have a pretty decent switch into my Tapu Fini anyways on that thing, so not too worried about it. This is also my primary check to the Mega Aggron, as long as he's not max HP, max special defense, like anything less than that, I will always be KOing him with a Fire Blast. But that said, it becomes a roll with Fire Blast. It's a little bit better if I can get Stealth Rocks up, but it's a roll. But this is my primary check to the Aggron, like I said, and the coverage is just pretty nice for his team. I also don't have the best things to hit the Delmi, so this is pretty nice as well. So finally, we got a weird set. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty weird set. We got God of Thunder, the Jolteon with Leftovers, Volt Absorb, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, Wish, and Baton Pass. With the 148 HP, 4 defense, 148 special attack, 12 special defense, and 196 speed with a Timid Nature. This is basically just fast enough to speed creep a Greninja, a max speed Greninja that speed creeps. The special attack investment was to, what did it do? Oh, a max HP, max special defense Alomomola couldn't, it was always a 2-shot on a max HP, max special defense Alomomola. That's basically what I was benchmarking for. And I tried to pour as much HP investment as possible, but the 12 Svidef kind of helped with something. I think it was like living Dazzling Gleams from Koko, I believe it was, from a Life Orb Koko, so I think, I don't know. But I believe that's what we were going for, so I tried to pour as much HP as possible for the Wish. So you might be asking yourself, why Baton Pass over Wish? It's a great question. He has a Mamoswine. Jolteon doesn't touch the Mamoswine. A Mamoswine always comes in free on a Jolteon. So if I can predict the Mamoswine coming in and click Baton Pass, that would be perfect. And I get free momentum, as like I said, I don't really have the best switch-ins to that thing in general. So getting free momentum on a Mamoswine is good momentum. Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice pretty much hits everything outside of the Mamoswine, like I said. Hits everything pretty much neutrally. And then the Wish is just nice to pass around, maybe like Tapu Fini, so Mamoswine isn't always wearing it down as much, or even the Gliscor since I don't have Roost on it, or even the Jirachi since I only have the Big Berry on it. So things that are lacking recovery, Jolteon can Wish Pass to, stuff like that. So really, I honestly am loving this team. I'm loving the tech I'm bringing in. The Jolteon set, I hope it'll work. I feel like I'm really confident this set will work. And the Gliscor, I hope I can catch him with the Choice Scarf, but we'll have to see. So anyways, guys, I'm going to stop talking. We can hop right into the battle video now. Alright, guys, so we're back. So looking at the team he brought the Delamise, Hawlucha, Mamoswine, Greninja, Incineroar, and Koko. So nothing too surprising. Surprised not to see the Mega Aggron, but not upset about it whatsoever. I mean, it's not a huge threat, but like I don't really have the best switch-ins to it, so if he can get in on a good situation, it'll look pretty good for him. So anyways, in terms of lead matchups, I expected the Koko to lead 100%, as it does pretty freely. Just click U-turn off of me, turn 1, and I couldn't really do much about it. So I do decide to lead the Gliscor, and if he leads something like the Incineroar, let's say, I could have gone a free Stealth Rocks up, so that would have been nice as well. So here, he actually leads the Delamise, which is like the exact opposite of what I wanted to see. So here, I couldn't let my Gliscor go down, as it was my best way to hit the Koko. So I just go for the U-turn, and I have to make a really tough decision what I want to go into, depending on what I want to predict. But I was predicting the knockoff, to be honest with you, as it was a really good play from him if he goes for knockoff, if he has it. So I suspected the knockoff, so I'll go into my my Mega Glade, and he actually goes for the Power Whip. So depending on how much he invested, this will outright KO me, but it doesn't, fortunately, so he has no physical investment. And at this point, I suspect him to be Colbur Berry, but I can't really do much about it. I had to go for the knockoff, had to get rid of that item. So my Glade actually goes down turn 2, as he is a Colbur Berry like I suspected, but like there wasn't much I can do about it. If he wasn't, this would have KO'd him, so I just kind of had to click it. So he just goes for the Shadow Claw, gets a turn 2 KO, which is really unfortunate that I had to let my Mega Glade go down so early, but at least I get a nice chip on this Dhelmise that I can't recover back, so that's at least nice. So here I go into my Chandelure, as a Toxic was super free. I did not expect him to want to stay in whatsoever, as he always has a free switch into the Incineroar. So I decided to go for the Toxic here, like I said, as he does just switch into his Incineroar. As we do see his Intimidate, which is really good to know, even though like he's most likely not going to be the other ability. I don't remember what it's called. The Fire type Torrent. I don't remember what it's called. There's Overgrow, Torrent, Blaze. Blaze is what it's called, I believe. But anyways, guys, so we get the Toxic off on the Incineroar, and we just go hard into our Tapu Fini, as it can't really do much to us besides go for a nice U-turn. Or knock off our item potentially. So he does go for the knockoff, gets rid of our leftovers, but it's not too big of a deal. So here, this is a super free, I believe I got for Moonblast here. Super free Moonblast. Nothing really wants to switch in on this, so I go for the Moonblast, I believe, if I remember correctly. As he goes hard Tapu Koko, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is Assault Vested, maybe? Or maybe I go for Nature's Madness. Yeah, I go for Nature's Madness, okay. Smart play. But I go for the Nature's Madness, cutting whatever he wants to go into his HP in half, as he was never going to stay in on a Tapu Fini. So here at this point, I can just go out into my Jolteon. If he wants to go for the U-turn, he goes for the U-turn. But he just goes for the Dazzling Gleam, which is good play. Kind of a middle ground on the Jolteon, but as you can see, I can live 2 of those because I was EV to live 2 Dazzling Gleams from a Life Orb Koko. So here I just go for the Baton Pass, as I don't suspect him to want to stay in. And even if he does, I can Baton Pass out into my Gliscor. So I go for the Baton Pass, as I expect the Mamoswine to come in, as it does. So that's absolutely perfect, as I can go out into my Tapu Fini at this point. If I had my Glade, I could freely set up a Sword Stance here and just kind of dent things. Or not even set up a Sword Stance, but Close Combat was hitting everything hard. But it's whatever. I did what I had to do. So here he's going to switch out, and he's going to go out into his Dhelmise, as I suspected. So I actually go for the Moonblast here, because the Moonblast will take to a KO, but a Surf into a Moonblast doesn't always KO, just depending on his set. So I go for another Moonblast, pick off this Dhelmise. So Tapu Fini gets, I believe, his 2nd kill of the season, even though we're super far into the season. But either way, so here he's just going to go out into his Koko. Yet again, if I could speak English right, and his Koko's about down to 40-ish%, so I know I can go out into my Jolteon at this point. I believe I go into my Jolteon. Now I go hard into my Gliscor, as I don't suspect him to want to click the HP Ice. And so here he clicks the Roost, and I'm like, okay, so this is a perfect situation to click Earthquake. There's no way he suspects me to be Choice Scarf, and if he does, good play on him. But a Him Power Ice with the Life Orb Koko always almost KOs my Gliscor. As we do click the Earthquake, he doesn't switch out, so this is absolutely perfect play. We pick off this Koko, so he's not Choco Berry, because we already saw the Life Orb. So we get this free KO on the Koko, which is absolutely perfect. That thing was a pain in my butt. As he does just go out into his Mamoswine at this point. And so here I just click Earthquake again, as I do suspect him to want to click the Earthquake, as you never stay in on a Mamoswine with a Gliscor. So I switched into him to want to click Earthquake, as he does. So here I know I can go into my Tapu Fini pretty freely. Just eat up whatever want to. Excuse me, I can't speak English at all today. Whatever he wants to go into, I can eat up freely, as I do suspect him to either want to click a Ice move or something like that, or even knockoff. But he actually just goes out into his Solucha, which I also suspected. So actually, okay, so his plays were either 1, go for an Ice move, 2, click knockoff, or 3, go out into his Solucha to try to get this last turn of the Electric Terrain. And I knew since I was faster, I could switch out before his Mamoswine, unless if he was also Choice Scarfed. Actually, I always outsped a choice card Mamoswine anyway, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I believe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't think I did, actually. But anyways, so like I said, his plays were either go for an ice move, knock off, or go out into his Hawlucha to try to get this last turn of Electric Terrain to see what he can do with his Hawlucha. So I go into my Tapu Fini as it covers all those plays, because since my Gliscor would be faster than the Mamoswine unless if he's Choice Scarfed, I would switch out before, get the Misty Terrain up, and then his Hawlucha would come in. So that's exactly what happened. So he goes for the high jump kick here, as I do click the Moonblast. And as we do see, he is a bit bulkier of a Hawlucha, as he does live on a sliver, so either that was a roll or he was just kind of a bulky Hawlucha. And so here I go into my Chandelure, as it's not really doing much for me this game at this point, and hopefully he clicks high jump kick again. I expect him to want to click the Acrobatics just so he doesn't risk the miss or the going into Chandelure, which is a really smart play on his part. So he's just going to click Acrobatics twice, which is totally fine. At this point, I can just freely click Shadow Ball. Nothing wants to take a Shadow Ball outside of Incineroar, but you know, I kind of had the Incineroar on lockdown. And I also didn't want to keep taking damage on my Fini, so that's also why I made the switch out. And so here he goes out into his Greninja, and I know I have a switch in to, or I don't have a switch in, excuse me. I have to say in because I don't have a switch into this. So he goes for the Night Slash, which wasn't unexpected. It was kind of surprising that he was a physical set, but you know. So here I go into my Jolteon, as I know we'll outspeed this unless if he's Choice Scarfed, but even if he's Choice Scarfed, I will be able to live a Night Slash. As he does go on into his Incineroar, so at this point I believe I just click either Thunderbolt, Wish, or Baton Pass. One of those three. Wish. Okay, I click Wish. Because I could live the attack, whatever Greninja wanted to go for. And I knew I scared it out unless he used Choice Scarf, so that was pretty nice. And I knew I could pretty freely click the Wish. So here I Baton Pass, just in case if you wanted to pull a double, I get the Baton Pass for the momentum, as I do just go out into my Tapu Fini, as this thing can't really touch it outside of like maybe going for a U-turn just to kind of pivot out. But then I get a free Wish up. So that's pretty nice. So he does go for the U-turn, like I said, not really unexpected. And so he's just going to go out into his Greninja, I believe, at this point. Is that the Greninja? Yeah, it's Greninja. So I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he either goes for a Dark-type move, expecting my Jirachi, or goes for a Gunk Shot. So I make a play out into my Gliscor, as I knew I could freely click U-turn off on this thing. As he makes such a great play with the Ice Punch. I was really debating between going Jirachi and going the Gliscor there, but I decided to go Gliscor. Doesn't pay off. I should have preserved the Gliscor. I should have gone Jirachi, but it's whatever. But here at this point, I go into my Jirachi, as I know I can live one hit, and I kind of scare him out, suspecting I am Choice Scarfed with the Iron Head, as he also does have a free switch in to the Incineroar either way. So I do just go for the Iron Head, kind of bluffing I'm Scarfed or not, as it will do just a little bit of chip, and Toxic Damage will start racking up shortly. So I will just go for the Protect here, kind of revealing that I'm not Choice Scarfed, as he does just click the U-turn here. And so here I'm like, okay, I can pretty much live any hit this thing wants to go for, unless if he's like Choice Banded. But based off of like the damage it's been doing to Tapu Fini, I didn't suspect it. But I actually decided to switch out here, just try to preserve my my Jirachi. So he goes for the U-turn, as he does just go back out into his Greninja at this point, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yep, because this is pretty much his only switch into this thing. And so here I'm like, okay, I can get a nice chunk off with the Surf at this point. As he does just go for the Gunk Shot. And I know I can always live a Gunk Shot since we haven't seen Life Orb, unless if he's Choice Banded, but I didn't suspect him to be Choice Banded. And based off that damage, I learned he's actually Expert Belt. And of course, he gets the poison on my Fini, because the Misty Terrain's gone, and like, why not? So last time you'll probably ever see a poison Fini, but there you go. So, so my Fini will go down to the Toxic Damage, which is super unfortunate. But here I can just freely go out into my Jolteon and just Baton Pass out. I believe I go for the Baton Pass. as he just goes back out into his Mammoth Swine. So at this point, I can just baton pass out, and I believe I go into my G.O.A.T at this point. I don't remember what I have left. Yeah, I go into my G.O.A.T. What do I have left? Oh, just these two. Okay. So here I'm just going to click the Iron Head. And so, yeah, so I'm just going to click the Iron Head. Just try to get some damage off on whatever he wants to bring in. Even if he brings in the Incineroar, Iron Head plus Toxic will start racking up. And so here I'm like, okay, maybe he's a berry set, but like I'm not sure at this point. He could be Assault Vest, as we've only seen attacking moves. We haven't seen any status moves. So I'm kind of like leery of both either berry or AV. But at this point we see right here that he is in fact AV. So yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate. So here I just go for the Iron Head, just praying I can get some flinches, as I do flinch him yet again. So here I know the Protect's pretty obvious, but I kind of have to go for it. I couldn't really risk it, as G.O.A.T was my main way of winning. Okay, and so here I should have... Okay, so what I do is I forget that I'm -1 from the... Okay, so I'm going to pause this. So here I forget I'm -1 from the Incineroar's Intimidate, right? So I'm calculating this. I know Iron Head could KO most of the time if he's just like a Dark type Greninja, like if he loses the water typing. So I'm like, okay, I can click Iron Head on this thing. It will KO almost every time. But the play was to click Thunder Wave and then start clicking Iron Head. But I do not make that play. So I'm just going to go for the Iron Head, just trying to KO this thing. But first I'm going to Protect, just kind of scout out what he wants to go for, in case he had like a Z move or something. I couldn't remember if this was a Z Captain or not, so I just go for the Protect. As he does click the Night Slash, and I know I can even live an Expert Belt boosted one pretty easily, and I just go for the Iron Head, and I'm like, oh crap, he lived. Why did he live? And I start running the calcs again, I'm like, oh, I'm -1 from the Incineroar. So here I go hard in my Jolteon, and I know that I can live a Night Slash, get some lefties, and so if I click Thunderbolt here and he stays in, I win the game. But that's not likely, and I go for the Baton Pass, and he actually stays in, which was like God tier plays. Like honestly, like such a great play on his part. Because like if I would have, okay, I don't know how great of a play it was, but like it worked out super well for him. Like Mammoth Swine was pretty free, or even Incineroar was pretty free. And he would have been able to bring back in the Greninja and win at that point. But that play really worked out for him, because he just goes for the Night Slash, KOs these last two mons I have. I have to go for the Thunderbolt at this point, just trying to do something. But at this point, there's nothing I can really do. So he does switch out into his Mammoth Swine, and so he will pick up the 3-0 win. If I would have Thunderbolted there, I would have KO'd the Greninja. I would have let this Jolteon go down, and then I probably would have been able to win with the G.O.A.T, as long as I could have flinched him once with the Iron Head. So if I would have clicked the Thunderbolt there, I would have had a 60% chance of winning this game at this point. But it is what it is. So great game to my opponent. Like I said earlier, if he has a channel, I will definitely link it down below if I can find it, or even if he has one. But great game to my opponent. We are now 7-3, and as crazy as it sounds, we have a chance of not even making playoffs at this point. So we definitely have to play our last game as hard as we can, bring our best prep that we've ever brought. So definitely excited to play our last week out, as there's one more week left in the regular season before playoffs. So hopefully we can make playoffs. Hopefully you guys enjoy this battle. It's a tough loss, but we're still kind of sitting pretty. Still, hopefully we can make playoffs. So anyways, guys, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new. Leave a comment down below how much you like this battle, how much you enjoy my content, or how much you hate my content, or whatever. Or if you have any critiques for me, let me know. So anyways, guys, I'm going to head out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.